What's going on, guys? Time to do a little Jays talk here today. Obviously, we've given it close enough to 24 hours now for the Sasaki news to digest and kind of come to grips with where we're at. Obviously, the Miles Straw deal doesn't look so hot now, so we'll be on the hook for about 5.75 million for the next 2 years. I don't remember the exact numbers, but he was owed around 14 and a half, 15 million, and the Guardians covered, what was it, 4 million of that, give or take, somewhere around there, anyways. Um, so yeah, that deal doesn't look great in hindsight, but what I will say is I've seen a lot of chatter about that's a fireable offense, taking that deal, getting the extra 2 million in signing bonus. I would like to frame it in a different way in that, so obviously it's come out that the Dodgers made a trade with the Phillies, and all the rumors were that Sasaki was going to, kind of give a nod to the teams to go ahead and acquire more international free agent space. Now, if that news had broken that the Dodgers made a trade with the Phillies for some extra cap room there and the Jays did nothing, we would have been hearing the same complaints again over and over again about how the Dodgers were willing to take that step and the Blue Jays once again put an offer out but weren't willing to follow through to try and finish it. Same as we've heard with Otani, same as we've heard with Soto. We've heard that they're willing to push in, they're willing to kind of in theory spend the money, but when the time comes, they don't actually get it done to spend the money. In this case, they were willing to put their money where their mouth was. They were willing to spend 5.5 mil a year on Miles Straw. To acquire $2 million in bonus room. So, I give them a small amount of applause for at least ponying up and showing that they were serious about it. Obviously, reading the room in hindsight, was Sasaki ever going to go anywhere other than the Dodgers? Probably not. But I can't hate on them for not trying to get deals done and then for trying to get deals done. Like, if they're willing to absorb that $5.5 million and still go ahead and get Santander and still go ahead and make a pitch to Flaherty to still try and get Vladdy's deal done, I don't have a problem with it. Now, people will say, oh, so you support Ross and all this, and you know how the internet is, overreacting in the other way. No, no, no. Ross Atkins deserved to be fired before the season. We've all established that. We've talked about it till we were blue in the face. But to me, this deal does not move the needle further in that direction. I just can't get there with this move. Every team would have liked to be in on Sasaki. Every single team, if their GM had been given a nod saying, hey, we're interested in you, if you can make this, and this happen, we'll strongly consider you, all of the teams would have done it. There weren't teams out there that were pulling themselves. Other teams were being told they were out of it. So to sit there and act like, we got played. Maybe we did a bit. Maybe. Who knows what Sasaki's real intentions were? Only he'll know that. But to act like, the Yankees, the Mets, all these other teams were just smarter and knew to pull out because they knew they weren't going to get him, that's not the case. Had they not been told directly from Wolf, his agent, or Sasaki himself, I'm assuming it comes from the agent, but had they not already been told plainly that they were out of the running, those teams would have also made moves similar to what we did acquiring Straw and the bonus pool money. So I can't hold that one against Ross. And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this time because, the conversation every single day online is Ross Atkins needs to be fired. And I mean, how many times, how many days consecutively can you have the exact same conversation in one baseball offseason? Like, it just gets a little bit repetitive and old. So, I've said since I started recording videos, I'm a fairly optimistic person, and I've been around baseball my whole life. I've played it, I've watched it, everything. Like, deep down we all know baseball is random, and we all know that every year there are surprises. So celebrating or putting a nail in the coffin in the off season for almost any team is foolish. We all, deep down, if we're being honest with ourselves, we all know this. It's just more fun to vent, basically, is what it comes down to. Does it get a little bit tiring? Missing out on these guys? Absolutely. Is it disheartening? Absolutely. Are we upset about it? Absolutely. It's not easy. It's incredibly frustrating. But to act like a guy we never thought we were even in on Sasaki, a week to 2 weeks ago. There were some light rumors about us liking him for a couple of years and scouting him and stuff, but that was the case with literally every single team in baseball. They've all been going after this guy. They've all been watching him in Japan. They've all been trying to talk to him. So, we knew we were lightly rumored about him, but we never thought we were getting him at that point. It wasn't until, maybe 3 days ago now that we actually thought, oh, wow, we're actually, maybe a 10% shot at this, maybe a 20% shot at this, probably not that high. But, yeah, none of our off-season plans, like every tweet you saw was about getting a power bat, maybe adding a Flaherty, maybe adding a bullpen piece, maybe doing something like that, but nobody was banking on Sasaki. So to now all of a sudden, because we got a glimmer of hope, act like Sasaki was the only positive outcome that could have come from this offseason, it's just strange to me. It's basically just haters wanting to feel validated. And again, I get it. It's frustrating. But to miss out on a guy that we all thought we didn't have a shot at, and to treat that as the final straw in the offseason, it's just nonsensical in my mind. Now, if it turns out that we don't get Santander, that we don't get Alonso, that we don't get Flaherty, that we don't get Bregman, that we miss out on all of these guys, absolutely burn it all down. Like, what's the point at that point? If you can get Vlad to just accept not winning for the next 2 years and say, hey, I want to go through a rebuild, I don't know why he would do that, but if you can somehow pay him to sit through that, okay. But odds are we're going to lose out on him if we, if in this hypothetical we do miss out on all of these guys. I don't even remember where I was going with that thought now. But yeah, anyways, our original offseason plan was, bring in a power bat. Try and get two if you can. Try and trade for somebody that's in, their ARB years, that's cheaper, something like flip some of these middle infield prospects. Do something. If none of that ends up happening, then everything is getting torn down. Like you're going to see James Click come in May when we're 6-20 or whatever it ends up being. I don't think we'll be that bad even if we did nothing. I'm sure we'll still be, a 70 to 75 win team. But it doesn't feel that way right now. Like right now, thinking about our roster, you're going, oh man, this is a 40 win team, knowing full well that, we're a healthy Bo and a healthy Vlad. We're going to be somewhere in that 70 wins. Disappointing anyways. But yeah. So that's really where I'm at. Just after kind of, like I say, digesting this news, I didn't want to hop on straight away. I just wanted to let everything kind of settle out and see how the international free agent rumors went. If we were going to be able to get anything with this extra money. Doesn't really look to be the case. I think we've got a few high-end prospects coming in, like, mid to high-end. I saw one guy was the number 9 ranked prospect, I think. But he was the one with the birth certificate issues where he was actually 17 instead of 16. So I don't know how big of an issue that is. I mean, if you like a guy as a 16-year-old and he's 17, still probably a pretty good prospect in my mind. But yeah, obviously it is a strike against him. But yeah, if they're willing to absorb the straw contract, the 5.75 or whatever it is per year, and if they're still willing to go out and make a push for an Alonso and a Jack Flaherty or whatever else is out there, we're gonna have to hope that's enough. We're gonna have to hope that that's lucky for us. The American League, there's some depth to it, I would say. Like there's some teams that a lot of them wouldn't be shocks if they were in the playoffs, but there aren't a lot of top talent teams. Like there aren't a lot of uncatchable teams. We don't really have a Dodgers. The Yankees will be nice. The Orioles, yeah, they'll probably be pretty good. The Red Sox are on the come up, but who knows what they'll be this year. I don't think there's going to be many teams running away with these spots. I think that the wild card and maybe even the East will be wide open until the end. And if we get a couple bats, if we get a pitcher, we might be a part of that conversation. But if the offseason feels how it's going to go, we most likely won't be. So yeah, let's continue to digest the Sasaki news, and let's hope that we've got a quick pivot, because we've got about a month's time until spring training really starts to, come to fruition here, when we start to have the team workouts and get ready to play real ball games. So yeah, let's hope we've got an impact bat by the time that comes, and maybe even another starting pitcher, and let's see what we can do. But anyways, just to wrap up, I just like to say that I'm happier that we went for Sasaki and didn't get him than if we just didn't even try. That would be my main takeaway from this, as disappointing as it is. Let me know how you guys are feeling about it. Was it a complete failure? Are you happy that we tried for him and didn't get it? Or like, I shouldn't say happy that we didn't get him, but are you happy that we at least pushed in and ultimately failed? Or would you have rather just seen us not try anything there? I'd be curious to know your guys' thoughts. So anyways, leave a comment below. I'll talk to you later.